And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. An exciting one for you today after the news, of course, regarding Mike Amesbury. Mike Amesbury reported to you this morning has been jailed for 10 weeks after an assault on one of his constituents. Again, still pretty pissed off with the fact that, of course, it was only 10 weeks, considering, political prisoners or people that wrote hurty words on Facebook over the summer got 2 to 3 years. But regardless, it's still pretty hilarious that, of course, he is going to be behind bars. And I actually sent a really funny image earlier following his sentence of the van coming to pick him up to take him away. I just chuckled ever so slightly, despite him only probably going to be staying behind bars for 4 weeks. However, of course, this is now going to lead to an inevitable by-election. And one of the top pollsters, Luke Tyrrell, of course, the director of Mooring Commons, has stated that Reform is on track to win their sixth seat, and of course win and take his constituency, which is of course really, really delightful news. Now, whilst that isn't confirmed necessarily just yet, you can take a bit of faith in the fact of Luke Tyrrell and his predictions, and of course with Mooring Commons. We're going to discuss more of it, of course, what the current layout currently looks like in terms of the polling votes in his constituency. Just to bear in mind, there hasn't been a recent one since he's been sentenced to prison now, or sentenced to jail, should I say. But we'll go through it regardless, and we'll see how likely it looks likely that Reform will win that sixth seat. But let's go through what we know, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the live chat. So, as stated, Luke Tyrrell, the director of Mooring Commons, has said that the dynamics of the now inevitable by-election, low turnout, national government unpopular, disgraced former MP, and Reform already second, mean despite the big Labour majority, Reform would be disappointed not to win given their current polling and momentum. Currently, at this moment in time, 5% of voters in Runcorn and Helmsby have already signed a petition demanding an immediate general election, with total signatories nationwide exceeding 3 million. It said that they need around 10%, of course, to force this sort of by-election. However, a lot of people have been talking about this and stating about, or speaking about Reform's chances of actually winning, should there be a by-election that actually happens, which again looks like it's inevitable right now. But this is the most recent sort of polling from his area in terms of Runcorn and Helmsby, following the imprisonment of their MP. The latest in polls in this constituency were Labour 36%, Reform 30%, and the Conservatives 14%. However, again, we haven't really got any updated information with regard to this at this moment in time. But as you can see, it is a Labour stronghold, but we would need to get more of a feel on the ground right now with regard to this, due to him obviously going into jail. That could fall a little bit more, and then Reform could of course take more. But again, with Luke Tyrrell and what his predictions have said with regard to it, it's something that is quite enlightening. A guy who knows a lot what he's talking about, and he stated that Reform would be really, really pissed if they don't win this, and has stated essentially they're on the brink, of course, of winning this one. In other areas, in terms of the Reform UK MP that is set to run for this constituency of Runcorn next week, rumours are swirling on GB News and X that it could be Aaron Banks. However, of course, Reform will reveal their candidate very, very soon. But as you can see there, rumours are currently swirling on GB News and X that it could be Aaron Banks. So yeah, I mean, this would be very, very good for Reform, a sixth MP, of course, and the way that things are going at this moment in time, if they can win this one, which again, experts are stating that they're likely to do so, then this would be a huge, huge win. Now, again, even if there is a Labour stronghold at this moment in time, a guy that's representing them that has assaulted one of them, essentially, attacked one of them, essentially, if people are still trying to get them into power or wanting him to go back into power in that area, then that, quite frankly, wouldn't make sense whatsoever. And you've got to question the people's intentions and morals around that area. But as stated, expert pollsters, people with inside knowledge, are stating that Reform would be entirely really pissed if they don't win this due to everything that is currently going on with regard to it. So we'll find out very soon if Reform do get that 6th seat. But what the media are saying is that, of course, it does look likely that Reform will take it and win it. But guys, get your reaction down there in the live chat. Let me know what you think with regard to this. Do you think Reform will win this by-election should it come, despite it being in a Labour stronghold? And do you think Aaron Banks, the person that's being rumoured to be in the running for it, do you think he would be a good addition in Parliament? Again, let me know in the comments section below. In terms of what Zia Youssef said, let me try and get his comments up with regard to the reaction, of course, earlier on today with regard to Mike Amesbury. He stated, what did he state? The great people of Runcorn deserve far better than waiting 6 weeks for a recall petition to take place. We call on Mike Amesbury to do the honourable thing and resign immediately so a by-election can be held. So there's one of two ways that this could happen. He resigns straight away, or of course they in the area sign a petition, and if there's 10%, then essentially a by-election could happen. So we'll have to wait and see, but it is inevitable. It is going to happen, but we'll see if Reform do go on and win it. Wald says, no one can stop Reform's growth, not even Labour, not the Tories. I mean, the funny thing is, the Tories aren't even in the shout for it, really. You're looking at the latest poll in that area, and they're down to 14% in that area. So it would be a fight between Reform and Labour. However, due to what's happened today here with Mike Amesbury, a more recent poll could reflect a Reform win, but we'll have to wait to that until we get some more updated polls. But Conservatives are not even in the picture, really. So, I mean, if the 14% there of the Tories, if there's a split, then maybe Reform can poach a few of those, because the Conservatives thinking that 14% will win. They would rather, it could be a bit of sake of, do you want Labour or do you want Reform? They could push into the Reform area, and then of course could take some of Labour as well. So again, it's still too early to say, but if you're listening to the experts in the space at this moment in time with regard to the kind of poll experts, all of these kind of things, then it does look like Reform could be on the brink of gaining that 6th MP, which would be huge, absolutely huge. Everyone I know in Runcorn is voting Reform. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, I would be really surprised if Labour win. I really would be surprised if Labour win. Luke Terrell came out and said it perfectly with regard to all of the things in place. If you look at what he said here, the dynamics, the low turnout, national government unpopular, disgraced former MP, and then Reform already in second. You can pretty much back that. If you're a betting man, then I would certainly be going for Reform at this moment in time. And that's not just because I favour for them, but I just feel that that's the way that this by-election would go, which is going to be happening inevitably very soon. Reform UK all the way. Well, let's see. But again, it would be a big boost. It would be another snipe off Labour, if you like, going into their stronghold and taking one of their seats. That would be big. It would be really big. And, an extra seat there might not sound like too much, but it's these small little gains that go a long way in the whole big picture and the big scheme of things. Anyway, but guys, do let me know your thoughts on everything in regard to this down there in the comments. Let me know your final thoughts on Mike Amesbury as he spends his first night in a cell. Funny guy. I wish it was longer, but yeah, he's gonna be in for a shock when he wakes up tomorrow morning anyway. So I'll be thinking about him tonight. Nah, I'm joking, I won't really. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts and everything down in the comments. And do you think Reform are going to be winning this inevitable by-election? And do you reckon they will get that 6th seat as they are currently being dubbed to do so? Again, let me know in the comments.